I get people messaging me who say, Justin, can you help cure my nephew's illness? People who are
What?
just searching for something to be. If I do my job well enough as a magician, even though I say I'm a magician and it's an illusion, some people think I know that's what you have to say, but it is real, right? You know what I mean? There are people who really believe that I and other magicians have, some supernatural ability. And I'll get people who message me asking for help with things. And I have to politely explain that I'm not that kind of magician. I don't want to tell them, and that doesn't happen, whatever you're looking for doesn't exist, because who the hell am I supposed to know? But yeah, I don't want to give people false hope. I did a bit in Magic for Humans where I convinced people I was removing their NSA chips. Clearly, I thought tongue in cheek, tapping into conspiracy
Right.
hysteria. This was several years ago. Once a week,
Oh
I get
no.
someone emailing me or messaging me or DMing me asking if I'll remove their chip for them. They're like, I think I've been chipped, like the people on the show.
Oh my God.
How do I do it? Can I remove it myself? So I sell them a remover. I ship it to
That would
them.
be amazing. Chad, do you know who John of God is?
No.
John of God.
John of God, kind of like
Mhm.
the amazing Jonathan. In Brasilia, you go down there and you pay an enormous amount of money and you wear all white and the whole town wears white and you go there to get healed and you go there to have him pull cancer out of your body. And it is a magic trick. I have no idea how the trick is done. I'm sure Justin does because he's pulled chips out. You could probably pull an ugly looking tumorous thing out. To me, it's
Whoa.
like the most unethical thing in the entire world. If there's a placebo effect that helps some people, that's fantastic. Do you, as a magician who actually knows how that trick is done, if you saw something unethical like that, would you feel an obligation to step in and be like, no, you're paying $5,000 and I'm going to show you that literally, he's a charlatan.
Yeah, it's a technique called psychic surgery, which, like the chip removal thing, was inspired by. Like James Randi, famous magician and debunker, would go and expose like how these charlatans
Oh,
would palm chicken spleens and stuff. Just using sleight of hand, make it look like they're just like pulling a lamb shank out of your son's ear. And I could have charged you 5,000 for that, telling you I removed his unfunny bone. I don't know. But
but
that's the same trick.
it was this big. Yes, that's the same trick, but it's still happening and people are still paying for it.
Yeah, I do feel moral repulsion to that and an obligation to do or say something about it. And magicians have always been that debunker, in that these techniques and skills are meant to be used for entertainment purposes with consent, as opposed to passing them off as real and authentic. Harry Houdini used to, for the last decade of his life, was dedicated to debunking spiritual mediums and psychics, because they were using magicians' tricks and passing them off as real. I'm not as vocal and ardent of a skeptic, debunker like that, but magicians have a history of being very motivated at protesting that.
Do you see any other professions or even just like character types of people as also magical? And not in a cynical way, but like someone might say, whatever, the way Pat Mahomes throws a football, like there's magic in that. It's not technical. It's beyond what we thought was possible and believable, but it's happening and I see it, but it's doing something to me. It's making me say, wow, that's an example I'm using. But do you look at anything or anybody that way and say, wow, that's magic?
I remember like seeing, a movie like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, or some Charlie Kaufman movie where you're like, how does somebody pull that out of their head, or adaptation? Like that stuff feels magic, or like Memento, or even like Sixth Sense are almost like cinematic magic tricks to me. You're watching, okay, something's gonna, and then at the end, like, oh my God, the trick or the punchline, you're like, to truly not see it coming is a beautiful thing, to truly be fooled, right? Because I'm sure you watch a movie and you're thinking, where's this going? What's the twist? Like an amazing guitarist or an amazing athlete, like you can see the skill. Simone Biles, you're seeing how does their body do that, right? As a magician, though, like we have to hide the skill. You don't want to see me sweating and fingers contorting to do a trick. The magic needs to feel like it's just effortless, right? Magic just needs to
Right.
happen, right? Because like it can't help but happen. Versus an athlete where you're seeing the hard work. As a magician, I'm trying to hide the hard work and make it feel just effortless. And maybe that's how it's a little bit different than other peak performers, right? It's on display. You're watching John Mayer's fingers as he's playing guitar, right? It's like, I can't do that.